I'm Talia Fisher. I'm founder and director of All Seated in a Barn. So this week we had the vet out, the farrier out, feed delivery, horses leaving to go to different trainers, horses coming in from training. So it's been a very, very busy week in general.
Good morning, I'm Dr. Katrina Lucas here at All Seated in Barn. We are going to start off with some x-rays. We're going to do some front feet x-rays on Miley here so that we can get her prepared the best we can, see what's going on exactly inside that hoof capsule so that we can get the farrier to trim her. If we need shoes, we will know exactly what we need to do, have a blueprint for her. Everything else is good on her, so we're just going to start with some x-rays.
Hi, I'm Desiree at All Seated in a Barn. So what I do on Tuesdays is working with the vet. So I'm everywhere around the place and help the farrier as needed. What I do out here on my off days, I also ride and exercise horses, especially this one girl right here, this horse, Sage. I've been working her since her rehab since I think 2 months already. So she's doing really good. What Brian did today, he assessed the horse with a Hendy and Dopte. So what he does is he explains to the people to see if they like him or see where he's at. Basically, he's a walk and trot. So he tries each of the people to try him, assist him, see you're comfortable with, and then you go from there.
Okay, so we'll walk over. What we'll do today is we're gonna show you Carl. Carl is gonna be a walk trot horse. He's one that you can literally put a saddle on and get on him and ride. I don't advise that to people on their first time. So what we'll do is we'll lunge him around, tighten the cinch up a little bit and make sure that everyone's comfortable. And then after I've ridden him and demonstrated him real quickly for you, if you guys are comfortable, then we'll let one of y'all on. Another thing we do here at the process we go through when we're showing a horse, I'm not gonna get the horse out and prep him before you get here. Okay, I want you to see the good, the bad, and the ugly, from the stall to the hitching rail, to the round pen, to riding, to putting him away. I want you to see his temperament. Leaving the barn, does he get fussy when he's leaving his buddies? Is he buddy sour? What's his ground manners like when you're walking him to the round pen? When you're walking him to get saddled? Does he pull back? All these type of things. You're not gonna get any of that experience with Carl. He's pretty doggone good, pretty chill, all right? If your kids are under 18, I'll need them to wear a helmet. Did you bring helmets?
No.
Okay, we have them here. That's good. It's gonna sit real high up on top of your head, and they're not meant to be aesthetically pleasing. So you won't go to prom with this on, okay, I promise. The vet's on her way. We'll have feed delivery this morning. So there's a lot of atmosphere going on, so you'll see the horse with all these bells and whistles around how his temperament is, which is another good thing. You'll see here his top line's a little bit low, but he has not been ridden a whole heck of a lot lately. All right, God knows when the last time he was really started working. This will fill out with muscle as you start riding him more, and as he starts to work more, his appetite will increase. It will help him gain weight. Okay, I'll get him right here, and then I'd like you to walk him to the round pen. Okay, his ground manners, he should never walk past you, okay? He's pretty well seasoned and experienced horse. So if you just want to hold this and walk with me this way, now gently stop and say, whoa. He should not walk past you, okay? He should stop with you. Now start baby walking, baby step. Now take off fast at a normal pace. Now stop. Good. He should stay with you, okay? He knows the rules. His ground manners are pretty good, all right? Go ahead and we'll walk up here to the round pen now. We're looking at his ground manners while he knows you're working with him while he stands still. He should remain still and not walk off with you. And this is called being ground tied. Something I do when I'm showing horses is I try to cause a little bit of a train wreck. So not all horses you can do this to, okay? Sometimes they're gonna overreact to that. Typically, as we're working with horses here, we'll knock the saddle off of one side, make sure they're not gonna get crazy. So they're used to those sounds and that pressure on their offside once it hits them. But again, this guy, he's been around the block a little bit. If you take this guy home and you learn him a little bit, you could literally get on him right now and ride. He's good for walk and trot. He's not a horse that you're gonna be loping big circles on a whole lot, all right? He's like 20. And he's got some arthritis, all right? But other than that, he's good for walk and trot, trail riding, easy going, easy day stuff. So what I'll show you now is how good his stop is, how he neck reins, how he'll yield. So all I'm gonna ask him to do now is stop. Oh, oh, oh. Now I'm not gonna use my legs at all. I'm gonna use just neck reining. I'm not pulling on his mouth in any manner. That's simply by the weight of the rein. This is about as rambunctious as I've ever seen him. Or he's normally just like melted butter, and he's not being difficult at all. But for what I know of this horse, when he's being ridden somewhat routinely, he's just like, okay. Today you'll see him, he's flipping his head a little bit. He's like, you got me out of my air-conditioned stall, and now you're asking me to move my feet, which is a 4-letter word called work. Okay, so would you like to get on him? So now just hold your reins. I want both hands about right here. Okay, that way if you pull back to your waist, you're touching his mouth saying whoa, okay? Pull his head up, there you go, now relax. Hold your reins over toward me and gently squeeze your legs. Now I want you to drop your hips, put your feet out in front of you and say whoa. Pull back and relax. Pull back and relax. Hold your reins over that way. Keep them over there. Now he's going where you're driving him, just like driving a bicycle. Now look at me over your shoulder. Hold him over here. Hold your reins over to me. Look at me. Now hold them center. Sit back and say, whoa. Good. So I want you to pretend like these reins are doors. I want you to keep the doors closed, meaning I want him touching his neck. If you open the door, that means he can walk through it, and he should walk this way. If you open this door, he should walk through that way, okay? If you keep the reins, both doors closed, he should walk straight. Open the door that way. Close your door. Open your right door. Sit back and say, whoa. Now gently pull backwards and bounce your legs. Maria, one of the things on this horse I'm noticing, I have a different bit in him than what I typically ride him in. So what I have in him right now is called a single hinge D-ring snaffle, okay? So it has one point in the middle. So effectively there's 3 points of pressure. There's the right side of his bar, the left bar, and then the top of his mouth, okay? When you pull the reins, it pops him in the top of the palate, okay? So what you see is him doing his head action like this. So what I typically ride him in is a dog bone snaffle, which has a break in the middle, a little linkage, okay? And it looks like this one here. It has that link in the middle. So there's no pica right in the top of his mouth, okay? So that's what he's feeling. His palate is a little softer, and he's like, okay, every time you touch the reins on that bit, it will flex that single hinge, okay? And it will touch him on top of the mouth. He is so easygoing. You actually don't even need a bit to ride him. You could ride in a bosal, a hackamore, or just a halter and reins. I find a lot of times people want to know, can the horse ride with a bit? Not all horses will, okay? So we always try to show them with a bit unless I know it won't work. He will take the bit, but he will ride just as comfortable, if not easier, bosal, hackamore, or a halter and reins.
So this week, we hired a new person to be working with us to help with exercising and riding. The more horses that we get in and the bigger we grow, the more hands on the horses we need. So Tiffany, we met her several years ago. She's actually from the East Coast and was visiting in San Diego at the time, but she followed us on social media, so she came up to volunteer. Well, that volunteering led to multiple volunteering efforts throughout the years. Now she's in a place in her life where she's had a lot of training and riding experience, more so than she had before. And she was looking for a job, and it just so happened that we're looking for another rider. So it was a perfect fit. So we brought Tiffany on this week to start riding and also training under Brian. So it'll be a really good understudy, which will only help us help the horses, which is what this is all about.
Hi, I'm Walker Greynolds. I'm the farrier out here at All Seated. And today we're working on a horse named Sage. Sage has really flat soles and long toes, so she gets a little tender if she gets her feet packed up with any debris. So we put EquiPack in there, and then on the hind end, we just drew some clips on those shoes to kind of help them from sliding off, because she really likes to slide the shoes back. And then when we pour that EquiPack, I use duct tape. You can use foam boards. I use duct tape. We pour it in, and then I set that foot down and have her stand on it while we're pouring the other one in, because I want that EquiPack to set up on a loaded foot instead of an unloaded foot. I've had issues holding it up while we're letting the product set up. Then you stand down on it, it's kind of like standing with a rock in your shoe. So I want to make sure they're standing down on it.
So Sage is about 14 to 16. She was adopted at first, and then she caught back. She hurt herself in her shoulder, so I started rehabbing her for like a month and a half, and then just lay paint and then start working her in a round pen. And that's when I got to know her personality. And she doesn't like loud noises, so she's very quiet and she likes certain people. So that's always new for me. And then actually, I rode her on my birthday, so that was exciting. And she did great. She walked, trot, and loped, so that was a good improvement.
Today we had a delivery of some of our rescues from back in Texas, one of those being Baby Love. For those that don't remember, in February we rescued 11 bucking horses that were going to be shipped to Mexico for slaughter. Baby Love was one of the ones that we kept and put into training, and as you can see, he did amazing. He's so sweet, hence his name, Baby Love, because he's a big puppy dog. So he went through training. He's actually broke to ride now, so you'll get to watch a lot of his updates on Brian Lawson's Instagram page. And then he'll go up for adoption and we'll work on finding him the best home. We have quite a few horses that got here today. All of the horses were at different trainers that we utilize, and they all kind of agreed that they were ready to come back. They're ready to find homes, they're gentle, they're safe, most importantly. We've got a couple of our mini donkeys that are coming back today, Half Pint and Brownie. They're from a previous auction. We've got two of our yearlings, Loretta and Miley, are here. We felt like now that they're halter broke and gentle that they'll be ready to be put up for adoption as well.
Hello, I'm Kelly Dixon. All seated sends horses to me for training, and this is Sorin. He's a 3-year-old gelding. He likes a very gentle approach. He's very quiet. He's got quite the personality. He's got 60 days here. He's easy to saddle, tie, bathes. He's very easy to get along with. He does good riding outside in the arena. He just is happy to please, and I'm excited to see what his future is.
So normally what determines us bringing our horses back to California is if A, they're healthy enough and capable enough to make the trip. It is quite a long jaunt, about 17 to 19 hours, even up to 20 if the weather's bad. Try to bring them back when they're ready to be put up for adoption. So we utilize our trainers in working with us to communicate if they're ready to be put up for adoption, but if they also just need some further fine tuning, wet saddle pad, we can bring them back too, because we do have on-site trainers that, like Brian, that can ride them in Devon, Madison, Tiffany. So we have enough people that can continue to exercise them that don't necessarily need training anymore to get them handleable, if that makes sense. The best way to support us is always through donations, whether that be product that we need or monetary. And you can do that by joining our Patreon, going to the website, or visiting any of our social media platforms for links on the best ways to help us.